I agree with you 100%, Tool Time. The mental backflips that people have to do in order to justify why their God, who I don't believe in, but their supposed God, allows people like amputees to go on for the rest of their lives without any kind of healing, and for children to really young children get horrible diseases in which they suffer for a long time before they finally die. It's it shows how you cling to a set of beliefs regardless of the facts. Is that when you assume that God exists and that that is a fact that cannot be denied, then you have to go, okay, what can I use to prove this based on this being true? And Michael Shermer correctly calls this confirmational bias. And that's the main problem with the majority of Christians who defend their God. What concerning the question, why doesn't God heal amputees? And it doesn't take long before you get around to the free will argument with Christians when it comes to evil and suffering. And they say, well, God wants us to love Him freely. He doesn't want robots. He wants us to love Him freely. And the only way to do that is for Him to give us free will in which we are able to make good, godly choices, or we also have the ability to make evil choices. Well, the whole free will argument just falls flat on its face when you take into consideration, as J.L. Mencken does, that you don't need evil and bad choices to have free will. For instance, you can have free will with only good choices. There is, let's say, your love of God is between 0% and 100%. There's an infinite amount of numbers in between 0 and 100 that you could love God. Let's say I only love God 0.000000001% of my being. You may love God 0.00001% of your being. Maybe some Christians love God with 10% of their being. Maybe there's some that love Him 99.9999999. You get the point. From 0 to 100, there's an infinite amount, and all of them would be good choices. There's nobody that hates God. Everybody loves God, but it's just a differing degree of how much people love God. So I'm pretty sure that free will does not require bad choices. And if their God exists as they believe He does, then He can heal amputees, and He can alleviate the suffering of children as they lie in children's hospitals, dying slowly and suffering unimaginable pain. It just breaks my heart to think about how much pain these little children go through before they finally die. If there's a loving, compassionate God, why doesn't He just take them instantly? And why do they need to suffer? And you can't say it's because of sin and so all that kind of bull crap. It's because these children were born this way. They didn't do anything, and I don't want to hear your crap about original sin. I don't know where I heard the argument, but it's a good one. Is if all men are doomed to live and to be born with a sinful nature because of one man and one woman, Adam and Eve, then the second Adam, who supposedly is Jesus, who came to alleviate the suffering and the sin of the world by dying in our place, if we are born into original sin because of the first Adam, then why are we not saved by the second Adam, irregardless, which is not a word, sorry, regardless of what we believe? Why is belief in Jesus so important The only answer I could come up with is that it's important to believe in Jesus because that's what your Methodist, Baptist, and your Catholic churches preach. And you have to believe in Jesus in order to go to their church and to give them your money. If you could just believe in God, why do you need to go to church and give the Teg Haggards of the world your money? Answer is you don't. So I know I'm just rambling here, and I hope some of this has made some sense. Keep up the good work, Tool Time, and I'll be watching your videos.